we on? We're live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome along to the Cancer Connect Vintage Coffee Morning, live from Enniskillen. Beautiful Fermanagh. We're here, as you can see in the background of, we're here in the Ardone Theatre, and what a stunning spot it is. And myself and Jake are going to be singing a couple of songs. We have a lot of special guests and a lot of interviews, but the main focus is we're here to raise a bit of money for Cancer Connect. Check out the donate link just below this post. And donate as much or as little as you possibly can. I know times are tough at the minute, but every penny counts. So anyway, we're going to start off with a little song called Bop, or something like this. Has many relationships in this life, but only one or two will last. Go through all the pain and strife, turn your back and it's gone so fast. Oh yeah, and it's gone so fast. So hold on to the ones who really care, because in the end you'll be the only ones there. When you get old, start losing your hair, can you tell me who will still care? Can you tell me who will still care? Care. Ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, yeah, yeah. Ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, 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 yeah, yeah. In a new bop they're gone. So plant a seed, plant a flower, plant a rose. You can plant any one of those. Keep planting to find out which one grows. It's a secret that no one knows. It's a secret that no one knows. Well, no one knows. Ooh, bop, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, 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 yeah, yeah. Say, ooh, bop, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo. Break it down. Ooh, bop, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, 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 yeah, yeah. Say, bop, ba-dibby-da-ba-doo, 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 yeah, yeah. Woo. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Are we straight to the video?
Cancer Connect and I started in Enniskillen, indeed in Fermanagh, to support people affected by cancer and their carers. We saw a need for the service, and the cancer charity is growing about 30% per year. We have a team of very caring and capable volunteers. We have a listening ear service, and you can drop in anytime. We operate 5 days per week. We have our bra fitting service, our underwear fitting service. We have 2 trained fitters. We also have a range of headwear that we give away free to people who may experience hair loss. We also have a complementary service, a complementary therapy service, of which we have 2 therapists operating 3 days a week. And we do massage, aromatherapy, reflexology. We also have a rise and recliner chair service, where we have about 48 rise and recliner chairs in the community, on a loan service, and the clients will use them, and when they're no longer required, we go and take them back and they're refurbished for another patient. We also have wheelchairs and a list of aids that we have that loan service, so that operates daily. We also supply hampers with healthy food options to our clients and their families where there's a need. We have never refused a request to date, so we do try to work with individual needs and requirements with the services that we provide. The charity's become better known. We have very high profile patrons in Nathan Carter and Lisa McHugh, and the charity is becoming well known, certainly in Fermanagh and indeed in Northern Ireland. We also cross the border as well into some of the southern counties, so we'd be high profile in our own area. A person with cancer, when they arrive at our door, will be met by one of our caring volunteers, and he or she will be offered a cup of tea, cup of coffee. It's a very caring environment. We use candles a lot, and it's very soft. It's like Granny's house, somebody said one time. So when you arrive, there won't be automatic doors or anything like that. It's a very caring service that we try to provide there. We're very much part of the community, supported by the community to support the community.
Yes, so we're live here in Enniskillen at the Ardone Theatre, and we're here for this fantastic vintage coffee morning, and the aim is to raise as much money for Cancer Connect as possible. We've got a couple of special guests. The first guest of this morning is Mary Conley, who's put a lot of hard work into making this morning happen. Tell us, Mary, how did this coffee morning originally come about?
Well, in 2009, I was invited, first of all, to volunteer with Cancer Connect. A friend recommended that I meet with Breda and talk about the charity, which wanted to provide services and support in this area for cancer patients, their carers and their families. And I was very interested because I was retired and I had time. And I met with Breda and we got on like a house on fire, as they say in Fermanagh.
Yeah.
And but I said if I joined the charity that I would really like to research training to provide a specialist laundry and swimwear service for women who'd had breast cancer, because when I was diagnosed in 2004 there were no services in this area. In fact, I ended up in a specialist shop in Leeds when visiting relatives. Thanks John and Christine in Leeds for that. And I was determined that whenever I retired, if I could find a way to do this, I would. And at this stage then in 2009, Cancer Focus in Belfast had begun this service, and they wanted to obviously roll it out as well, but there were two main centres at the Altnagelvin Hospital and in Belfast, and they provided me with the training, and they provided us with a stock of bras and swimwear, and really got us started and have supported us since to provide the service. And a short time later, a lovely lady called Anne Foggan joined the charity, and she also trained to provide the fitting service. So the pair of us are in charge of that area of the charity's work. And the largest centres for providing that service are in Belfast and in Derry, but we're the third largest after that. So it's, we're third in Northern Ireland for providing this service.
Yeah, and how important is the likes of these coffee mornings to the like of yourselves to raise money?
Well, I soon learned after joining the charity that there's more to working for a charity than doing the bit you want to do.
Yes.
And that, of course, fundraising is a huge, huge part of it. And there's been so many supporters who have done so many things: marathons, cycling, climbing mountains, skydiving.
Did you do any of them? Or?
No. I'm more feet on the ground type.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, we discussed various ways, and somebody obviously suggested maybe a vintage coffee morning. And of course, that really, really appealed to me because I absolutely love vintage china.
Well, I don't know if anyone can see on the cameras, but this lovely china cup is the nicest I've ever drank out of.
Yes.
I think it was really kept for Father Brian Darcy, to be honest. I'm jumping in getting one. And these cakes, they haven't been tried yet, but I can guarantee they'll be gone by the time this is finished this morning. This is lovely stuff. We're just, I guess, very sad that people can't be here with us in person because of everything that's going on. But how can people get involved if they want to help the charity and
well,
participate?
whenever this all started, we set out. We first of all appealed for donations of china.
Yeah.
and we had a fabulous response. We can cater for about 200 people.
Wow.
Now, there's a lot of dishwashing and preparation that goes into that, but we set up like this, and you can see the beautiful embroidered tablecloths,
Yeah,
which
that's
are
stunning.
part of the vintage. You know, the whole image is vintage, and these are beautiful, and the workmanship in them
These
is
would look great in
exquisite.
my house, to be honest.
Yes, I saw your program the other night, and there was no sign of any
Yeah.
tablecloths.
Maybe we'll
So
organise something next week.
yeah.
Maybe.
they're lovely. So we set up the tables, and we had the lovely venue of the Franco's Garden Room, and every year wonderful support from Betty and the team there.
Mm.
And we set up there with all this beautiful china. This beautiful set here, Old Country Roses is called, was donated by Alison and her sister Rita. Lots of beautiful china, and then we always do the flower arrangements and the tree-tier cake stands. So wonderful image when you come in. And there are people who make it an annual event. And I know that they were disappointed this year it wasn't happening, but
Sure.
here we are.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
you
think
so
a lot
grateful
of
to
people
you
are
for
Not at
hosting.
all. I'm delighted to be, and I think a lot of people at home are doing, taking part this morning in their own coffee mornings.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to assure people who are listening that you don't need all this. You
Yeah.
know, a few friends around, socially distancing.
Sure.
I've already been asked for mugs this morning. Could we have a mug instead of a cup? So people
Right.
will do it whatever they want to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And we're delighted. There's a number of people in the coming days and weeks who want to do it
Yes.
for us. And so great, you know, if they can do that.
Yeah. Well, we
Um,
would definitely urge anybody to take part, if not today, maybe down the line, and do it in aid of Cancer Connect, because all the money is going to a fantastic cause. And I know that you yourself, Mary, have put in a lot of hard work. So thank you from all the team here.
I
in
enjoy
Cancer
it.
Connect,
It's lovely, and my sister Anne and a huge team of volunteers help as well. And the people,
Yes.
bake for us. And
Yeah.
my mother made jam, and you're getting her
I see
rhubarb
the scones,
jam.
the scones
Yes,
here looking,
yes.
looking very tasty. Yeah.
So many people really make it work.
Yeah.
Dishwashing, packing china. It's a huge occasion.
Yeah.
And a wonderful occasion. So it's different this year, but I'm sure it'll be good. And I know it's a difficult time for people,
Sure.
and not everybody will be able to donate, but
Yeah.
that's fine too.
Well, I guess it's just about taking part, isn't it? If you
It
can
is.
donate, we would love you to do so. But in the meantime, we've got a bit of a slideshow coming up. But thank you very much.
I'm sorry,
to
but you
Mary.
can't tell me to go away because I have to thank some
Oh,
people.
go for it. Yeah, of course.
There are people who have already donated, and I know who are looking in this morning. So can I say a quick hello? Well, first of all, to the Rooney clan, my family in Cunyon. I'm coming tomorrow with a very large envelope for those of you who don't do social media or whatever.
Yes.
So I thank you for the support there. To my son Ryan Marie and his wife in Dubai, and Tommy, hello. Michael Walsh, Gul Ara in Singapore. Arlene and her family in the Philippines. Catherine Wortman, Erin and Aaliyah, North Carolina. Mary and Sandy in Scotland and their business Loch Lomond Cruises, thank you very much. And I would love to be cruising Loch Lomond. It will be so safe when they get started again next week, so good luck with that. To the Scottish cousins, the McElroys and Auntie Martha in Glasgow, Margaret and Andy and John Hyam in Lancaster, Michael and Dale in Sydney, the Smith family in Belfast and Dublin, and my sister and all in St Francis who support us so well every year. Jerry and Patricia and Sharon and Eve in Rossley, Kevin and family in Clones. In London, my daughter Amy's in London. I just want to say thank you for your donation, Amy, but you're not off the hook. So in anticipation, I want to thank all your OT friends at Southwark Council and your friends in the London City Voices Choir. I know you've already fundraised for another charity, but we're here too. And David and Sarah, thank you too, and Brian and Sheila and family in London, especially the twins, James and Joseph's. And thank you to Marty, my husband, and all the people who came to my garden on Thursday. And thank you to Alan, my son who's techie over here, and Niall.
Who's doing a great job, by the way.
I had no
Yeah.
idea, Nathan, that so much work went into something like this. I just
Yeah,
thought you
yeah.
turned up and because you're so
Yeah.
used to the screen that it was, there's a lot of work. And
No,
thank you all.
we
very
wouldn't be
much.
here without all the technicians, so big round of applause for all the techs. Niall and Alan and all the gang. Thank you very much. Hopefully, if we do this again, all them people will be here in person next time, maybe
Absolutely.
from
We
Singapore
look
and
forward
all
to
over
it.
the place.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Here's a little slideshow to before we go on to our next interview. Check this out. Welcome back to our Vintage Coffee Morning for Cancer Connect here in sunny Enniskillen, not usual Fermanagh weather, as you can see in the background. We're here at the Ardone Theatre, and my next guest is Anne Fogan, who's been involved in Cancer Connect for a long time, I'm guessing.
Yes, a number of years now.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you first get involved with the charity?
Well, I had cancer. I
Okay.
had breast cancer. And I had to go to Belfast for any help I needed. So when Cancer Connect opened, I realised what a vital service they were going to provide, and I volunteered.
Yeah.
I did get help from them as well towards the latter end of my journey, as
Yes.
they call it, yes.
Yeah.
But yes. So then I was trained by Mary, who trained me to be a bra fitter.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually didn't know this story at all, but I was very interested in when she told me how it got started, you know,
Yeah.
with because for ladies all over, you know, it obviously is a huge thing after breast cancer that
yeah.
to be able to go swimming, to feel comfortable.
Oh,
It's a
absolutely.
huge thing, you know,
Yeah.
so
Just heading out of the front door.
yeah.
Never mind going swimming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And the Cancer Connect obviously is based in Fermanagh, but I know it spreads further than that, doesn't it?
Well, we encourage anyone who needs us to come and see us.
Yeah.
And that's the only office that we have in Fort Hill in Enniskillen.
Yes.
And people do come from quite far afield. In fact, we've even had people who are here on holiday and hear about us
Yeah.
and come.
Yeah.
So fame spreads, as you might say.
Of course, yeah, yeah. And to be honest, I got involved with the charity a good few years ago through Phil, and I know Father Brian Darcy has been a big help to the
Yes.
charity as well. But there's a lot of people involved, isn't there?
Yes.
You know, and tell me, from Anna all your life, or
Can't you tell by the
I
accent?
had an inkling, yeah,
No, I've been here for 18 years in August.
18.
Yeah,
And what first attracted you to
my
Fermanagh?
daughter,
Okay,
yes, who came and lived over here.
Yeah.
And when my husband retired, we decided to come over here. It's so lovely and so peaceful.
yes.
And
Where were you before Fermanagh?
in the Midlands,
Yeah.
in England, Newcastle under Lyme,
Okay,
and that's Staffordshire.
yeah.
Quite a bustling place near the potteries.
Yes.
And it was very much more rural here and very much more laid back and
You prefer
relaxed.
Fermanagh, do you?
I do.
You do.
I do. It's lovely, and the people are so friendly,
place,
and you walk along anywhere and people say, "How are yous?" And yes, it's lovely here.
It sure is. And tell us, if you were urging people to get involved in Cancer Connect, what can they do? Or to get involved with the likes of this, with a coffee morning?
Well, yes.
What's the first step that they have to do to get involved?
Well, just have a coffee morning. I mean, normally they would turn up at Franco's.
I know, yeah.
And
yeah.
believe me, it is hectic from beginning to end. But it's become a real tradition.
Yeah.
And people do really seem to enjoy it. And then they donate when they're there, and it works really, really well.
Yeah.
So this is a bit different.
Sure. And
Yeah.
they've been going on for how many years now, the coffee mornings?
Pass.
Don't know.
No.
As long as you can remember anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if people would like to check it out, or even to make a donation, if you're not doing the coffee morning, check out the link below this post. As we said before, I know times are tough at the minute, but every single penny counts. So if you can spare any spare change at all, please check out the donate link below.
Can I take this opportunity to tell people a little bit about the bra fitting service?
Of course, yeah, work away.
I mean, it brings a more serious note perhaps into it than the coffee morning usually has.
Yes.
But I mean, when a woman's been diagnosed with breast cancer, it's a real shock. And then when she's told she's got to have a mastectomy, it turns your life upside down.
Yeah.
And it's at that time, although you've got plenty of medical support, that you really need emotional support and practical help. And that's where Cancer Connect comes in. And they really, the bra fitting service, I think, is, it's a lifeline.
Yeah.
There was nothing in Enniskillen of that sort. And Mary and I are both trained to bra fit, and we have a lovely, dedicated, comfortable bra fitting room, not just a cubicle. So there's a whole room, and we have no time limit. People can relax, they can have the fitting, but they can also talk.
Yeah.
And they often need to at that stage. So they would come to us when they're first diagnosed, perhaps, and we would fit them for a bra, a soft bra, to wear post-surgery so that they can be comfortable. And then they come to us again after 6 weeks after surgery, and we would fit them for a special bra for wearing to get their prosthesis fitted.
Okay.
And they come in often and they're walking bent over, and they go out and they've straightened up.
Very
They
good.
feel normal again.
Yeah.
And often the ladies come to us, after that, they become involved in Cancer Connect.
Yeah.
They might join a group. They might take advantage of the therapies that we offer.
Yeah.
And as far as we can, we offer what we do free of charge. With the bras, the first bra is always free. There's charity pays for that. And subsequent bras are heavily subsidised. And we use very, very good manufacturers.
Okay.
So they're getting the bra at a good price.
Yeah.
And we also do swimwear. So if, as you mentioned
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
if ladies want to go on holiday, they can get special swimwear that they can use with their prosthesis. Things are changing, actually. I mean, nowadays, even since my operations, the surgery is less invasive. So instead of automatically doing a mastectomy, they might do a lumpectomy or partial mastectomy. But we can still help with the ladies who have that. Or more and more ladies are now going for reconstruction. But if they feel that we can help them, then they're welcome to come, because they've been through the same trauma and they
That's
still
it.
need support.
I guess it's even just talking to people who've been through the same
Exactly.
thing and the same
Exactly.
experiences.
Yeah.
It must, give them a bit of relief
Yes.
to know that other people are going through this.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, and to see that you guys are now involved after what you've been through and
Yes.
still pushing forward with Cancer Connect. It's great to
Yes.
see and very encouraging. It really
Yes.
is. And
I think it does help. Yeah.
for sure. Well, thanks very much for being a part of this
You're
this morning.
And thank
Um,
you, and thank everybody
yeah.
who donates and who keeps us going and helps us to provide the service that we do.
They're doing a great job, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, listen, stay tuned. There's lots more to come. After this short break, there's going to be a performance of a song that I released at the start of this year with a great group called the High Kings. And this song kind of means a lot more right now with everything that's going through. So stay tuned for May the Road Rise. But in the meantime, check out this little slideshow. Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Cancer Connect charity morning. I'm here in beautiful County Fermanagh at Colebrook Estate with Lord Brookborough. And delighted that you're here, and delighted that we're allowed here to have a chat this morning.
No, it's Alan Brookborough, and I'm delighted that you're here, and I'm delighted that we're joining so many other people having their distancing coffee.
Yes, it's a bit unusual, to be honest. We've done them in hotels and function rooms before, but this time we're having to come up with new ways and new inventions in the midst of this crazy few months that we're having. This is a fantastic estate. How long have you actually been here?
Well, the family have been here since soon after 1641.
Wow.
But we have lived here since 1980. But before that, it had been empty for 7 years because my grandfather died in 1973. And the house, everything was sold, and all the furniture and everything, and it was just left derelict for 7 years.
There must have been a lot of work needed whenever you actually moved in.
Well, I think everybody said we were mad, but at that age, you just move in and get on with it.
Yeah.
And my wife Janet, she made every set of curtains in the house over a long period. We didn't finish until 1980.
Okay.
But she made 101 sets of curtains herself on a little sewing machine.
I was going to say there's a lot of windows. So.
Well, women are always telling you how much effort making curtains are. I'm not sure. We've almost started again.
Yeah. No, I can imagine a lot of work would go into it. What is daily life like here at the estate? You obviously get involved with the farming and that side of things.
Yeah,
and
I mean we do a limited amount of farming because everything was sold at the time of my grandfather's death for death duties. All the animals, all the machinery, all the furniture, the lot.
Yeah.
And so when we moved in, we decided to concentrate on tourism and other things, diversification. And so we have people to stay in the autumn and the winter to help cull the deer because they just go on breeding and there are too many of them and they cause car accidents.
Yeah.
And then we had a spa for a while, and that is not so much closed as it's changed now, and it's part of something called Brook House Health and Wellbeing Centre, and that involves horticultural therapy and therapy for people with various mental stresses.
Okay.
Not very extreme, but it helps them come to terms with life. And so that goes on, and we have a gym, and the gym has recently closed, and was run by Wayne Lyons, who was fantastic, but for other circumstances that he decided to leave, and we've just re-let it, so it will be opening again in a few weeks. I think Arlene or Michelle told us July the 10th or sometime after.
Gyms will
could be the 18th or 20th.
Reopening.
Yeah. So there's all that sort of thing going on. Then we have forestry and a few animals and whatever.
So I'd say there's always something happening anyway, for sure. And there seems to be a lot of land. How many acres is?
There's 1,000 acres here, and there is a lot of land. But there is a monstrosity to keep on the back of it. And when you say there are things happening, there are always disasters happening, like water bursting through the roof or whatever. It's not quite like that. It's pretty good now. But yes, things always happen.
An ongoing project, as they say.
Yes, it will be ongoing for a long time. We've only got as far as doing the 2 yards.
Yeah.
We haven't done the other buildings, and you may have driven through it, and it's not great.
I'm sure it will be, though, in time to come. I know through speaking with Phil from Cancer Connect that you guys here have hosted flower shows in the past, and that's been a big connection with Cancer Connect. How did that come about, or how did that happen?
I am trying to think of how I first met Phil, and the answer is I was aware of Cancer Connect, and it escapes me now as to how we first met. But But we did a flower show maybe 10 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And we decided to do another one and with the church. Rather than just opening the church and having flower arrangements, we decided to open the house.
Yeah.
And rather than just open the garden at Colebrook, and sometimes it rains in Fermanagh and then it's a washout, rather than do that, we decided to open the house and the wall garden.
Yes.
And we split it with the church, but I'm rather keen on supporting local charities, and you could say supporting local volunteers. And we made, I think, around 22,000 in 2.5 days, which was extraordinary.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, for here,
Yeah.
that was absolutely extraordinary. And we have to thank all those hundreds, thousands of people who came
Yeah.
and who were not prepared, who wished to support local charities. Because I sometimes feel, not gardens, but I sometimes feel that sometimes we're being asked to raise money and it goes a long way away. And
Yeah.
I'm not against that,
No.
but charity starts at home. And there
It's
is
good to see it, at
Yeah.
home. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I suppose you can see the benefits, with your own eyes whenever you see it happening on a local basis. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've had throat cancer.
Yeah.
I therefore am aware of the various circumstances surrounding it,
Yes.
and I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones, and there are lots that aren't so lucky. But it does turn a family upside down in minutes
Yeah.
from being told, and there are many charities which help in different ways, Marie Curie and others. But the nice thing about Cancer Connect is it's slightly different in that it actually helps, if you like, a family in trouble at that moment.
Yeah.
And there are enough of those. There's far too much cancer, and there's a lot of pain, but there's also the complete upset of people's lives.
Yeah.
And with what they do with providing help at very short notice, and I'll never forget by being impressed not only that there are stories, and they're not just stories, they're truths, of where somebody has been told they've got cancer, where there's a big problem, or they've come out of hospital. And it does, whether we like it or not, and we have a wonderful health service that we've seen during COVID.
Yeah.
So
indeed.
I'm not
Yeah.
getting it, but it takes time to get the thing in motion.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing with Cancer Connect is that they raise money and it goes straight into it. And if a family come up to them at midday with a major problem, like the washing machine's broken down and they don't have a tilt bed, or they don't have a wheelchair, or they need this, and the Cancer Connect has, on occasions, worked until midnight or afterwards,
Yeah.
in order to supply it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is nice and brilliant.
As you say, it is a different sort of a charity, but it definitely means a lot to people who need it at most, you know. And we actually have a link, hopefully below this as you're watching. So if you have any spare cash at all, I know times are tough at the minute, but if you can donate anything, as little or as much as you can, it would definitely be much appreciated. And that's the reason why we're doing this coffee morning today, is obviously to raise as much as
I like a
possible.
lot of the charities, and I'm involved in others. But I especially like it that the money goes to helping those people. And there is no big fund there of collected money that nobody can think of what to do with, because there's so many people who need it.
It's always got places to go. Or,
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah. And how has lockdown treated you over the last 3 or 4 months? How have
Well,
you
funny
been
enough,
coping?
after 30 years of going to London fairly frequently for the House of Lords, and I go for a couple of days a week, I have been almost relieved that I haven't had to go.
Yeah,
And you'll be aware that, because you see it in the papers, that Parliament's gone online in many ways. And now, rather than going to London, flying to London, staying in London, travelling in tubes, travelling on aeroplanes, and being there maybe for a 2-hour debate on something or a meeting, and then spending 24 or 48 hours there, I can actually watch it
yeah,
online,
yeah.
and we can now vote online.
Okay.
And I know it won't be the way of the future, but I think it's quite nice.
Yeah, I know even in my line of work, we would have had meetings, you know, on a weekly basis, and it's now all done on the internet, Zoom calls, or you know, it can be done if it needs to be done.
Well, I think there's going to be a balance.
Yeah.
In the end, there's going to be a balance, because I think a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't have to go to Belfast
Yeah.
to see you,
Yeah, yeah.
to sit down around the table. We've got Zoom, we've got Microsoft Teams, we've got all these things, and we can see each other. I mean, I think prior to this, there was always the thing that doing something on an open phone conference call, I think it's not great if you can't see people's face, you know,
Yeah.
because then it's a conversation.
Yeah.
But on a telephone, it's no good. But now you've got Zoom and everything else. It doesn't create the atmosphere in House of Lords or the Commons. And in fact, a lot of people would say it's much quieter in the Commons. But although people say that they don't like hearing the shouting in the Commons, I actually don't believe them, because they rather
The
enjoy it.
drama.
Yeah, and then they can also say, look at these silly politicians. You know, and I'm only a part-time politician, only there for a couple of days. I'm not denying that I'm part of the system, but we
Yeah.
don't shout nice.
Well, I just want to say a massive thank you for having us here this morning, and it's been a pleasure. This is my first time to Colebrook, and I hope it's not my last. We might see another flower show maybe up ahead, or something like that.
Not for a few years, because the whole thing about doing it in the size we did it
Mm.
was that instead of raising £1,500 a year or whatever,
Yes.
it's as much work,
Yeah.
and it is a lot of work,
Yeah.
let alone having people tramping around the
We'll
house.
plan for 5 years then ahead or something. maybe.
10.
10.
Well, then you do it in one big.
Yeah. One
One
big
big
lump.
lump.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm delighted.
£22,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah,
so
I'm delighted too that we, and it wasn't just us, that all the people involved
Sure.
raised the money for a local charity.
Yeah.
And I think that local charities are very important to us all individually.
For sure.
So thank you very much for taking the bother.
It's been a pleasure, and we hope that people donate this morning. There's lots more to come, lots of music, Father Brian Darcy, lots of different guests. So
Yeah,
stay
you'll get
tuned.
a lot more sensible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.